I bought a new digger. Speaking to the camera, there's an element of vulnerability that you sort of need to accept. I've heard comments back from people who just everything's just not working today. I've always said it to the guys, with doing the fences, all the preparation is in the posts. The day didn't turn out as bad as I initially thought. Good morning. It is Monday, the 11th of November. Already, it's a new week, just like that. Another busy week. The dreaded VAT bill that I've been harping on about, due to be paid today. We will get that paid and out the way. I'm just hoping that some other invoices come in as well, because it was going to depreciate the bank account. Yeah, hopefully they come in. And yeah, one hurdle to get over and get past. As I mentioned before, when I always go on about cash flow, I'm not saying cash is the issue, it's the cash flow is the issue. If we didn't have the work and didn't have the money due to come in, then it would be serious. The money was always there, just not in my bank account. It's just important to get through these jobs, get invoices in, get the money in the bank as soon as possible. It's just a sort of balancing act, isn't it? But anyway, it'd be good to get that out of the way. Move on to the next quarter, which will probably be just as bad. In today we have Kyle, Mike and Tommy. They're just up at the fence just now, getting the posts in. Kyle and Mike came out on Saturday and we got the rest of the holes dug. Quite a challenging fence, to be honest. There was a lot of holes that were problematic, stones, concrete. The breaker drill was an absolute necessity, but we got there in the end, or they're going in. We've got the stump to grind out. I had that cut down by my uncle on the weekend. I could have cut it from both ends with my saw and what have you, but he's got a still 500i. He would have just rattled through it, but I think it would have blunted his chain. Those conifer stumps are always horrible things, full of sand and dirt, and as much as you try and clean it out, and I think he took the blower to it, it still dulls the chain. So told him to get it as low as he could, and then we'll go in with the stump grinder, grind it lower. I do, however, need to rotate the teeth on the grinder because they are dull. They've got 3 edges to it. The last time we did a stump, it was just horrendous. Hidden stones right in the middle of the stump, and when you can't see that and you're grinding through it, it doesn't take long for the teeth to go a bit naff. As I've mentioned before, I don't tend to look at the weather forecast anymore, but Kyle has maliciously informed me that by the end of next week, or by the end of this week, start of next, we're due for temperatures to drop drastically, possibly snow. Just the certain white stuff that I was dreading. Anyway, we'll play it by ear, see what happens. It'll be what it'll be. Let's get the salopettes on and crack on. Morning, morning.
Morning. Morning.
All good?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. How's Tommy? You alright?
I'm good, yeah.
Good. Back in this garden, the leaves have made a mess again. We're just trying to rake out the worst of the sort of greenery. This is all getting dug out. And yeah, just a sort of general tidy up. Spread these piles of soil, the one over there as well. And yeah, just sort of try and get it back to a blank canvas, ready for grass in the spring. So that is a skip dropped off, obviously with the access in that garden. Very tight getting the trailer in and out of there. I just thought it'd be a lot easier. I'll get the 1-ton dumper from Sean, then I can run in and out with the dumper out to here and then just load the skip. It's sometimes easier than the fuel, wear and tear, time it takes to go and load up my trailer, especially when it's very horrible access. So yeah, I think this is going to be the most efficient way to get that stuff out. So hopefully going to go and try and pick up this dumper now and then can start moving some material. Mike, the stump grinder.
Right in the corner.
Kyle, the post installer. Do you know how to use that level?
No, I just do it for fun. That's why they're all so straight.
Well, that's the posts up. Well, nearly. Better not jinx it. So it's going to step up to from 4 foot to 5 foot, just along the window. Yeah. FSI EP.25 has made, I wouldn't say light work of the stump, but it's done the job. Yeah, maybe need to get a bigger stump grinder, or a bigger mic. So yeah, we're gonna get 2 double gates in here, 6-foot gates, or no, sorry, 9-foot gate and a 3-foot gate, I believe. Gonna be 4 foot along here. So Mike's just getting the stump grindings all cleaned up. We're digging out this gravel strip as well. Put a gravel board in, fresh gravel in the front here just to clean it all up. So just popped back up to see the guys. Well, actually, popped back up to meet a client along the road who phoned me saying how disappointed they were that we hadn't been to do the garden. We had arranged that we would come and do the leaves and sort of trim back all the beds and just cut back all the flowers just so it's ready for the winter. But I said there's no point in us doing that until the leaves are all down. So I was kind of waiting for them to come down because they're not all down yet, you see, and they're taking longer than usual. It was the same last year. They took forever to come down. Said she spent 3 hours cleaning some up herself, and bearing in mind this lady is an elderly lady. Of course I didn't want her to be out there doing that, but I just said you should have phoned us. Anyway, I said I'll come round and I'll see you, and she's totally fine, she understands. She was just initially obviously upset because she assumed that we were going to come round and do it probably sooner than I actually thought, but I was waiting for all the leaves to come down. We've got a few leaf cleanups to do, but until all the leaves are off the trees, most clients are like, well, just wait until they're all off because it saves doing 2 visits. It's more cost effective for them. I'll quite happily come and do a couple of visits, but it's going to cost you more because we're making double the visits. So came round, resolved it. Customer's still happy. We've been looking after our garden for a couple of years now. Again, just miscommunication, but she just phoned and said the leaves are down, can you come and do it? No problem at all. I can't monitor every garden that we've got to see if the leaves are down, you know. I didn't expect them to be down by now anyway, because there's still some on the trees. The worst is probably down, and we will go and give it a tidy up this afternoon, but not a phone call we get often. When we do, try to resolve it as soon as possible. So yeah, just one of those things. Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday, and it is a brisk 0 degrees. It's saying we've had a frosty morning, quite cold, but the sun has come out now, so warmed up a little bit. We had all the team here this morning, just getting the gravel area dug out, just a general tidy up of all the spoil from the posts, and we're now just kind of cracked on getting the rails on the posts. So just set up Kyle and Tommy. They're going to crack on with that. The fencing's something that I still have to kind of have my input in, because every job is bespoke, every job is different with the ground levels, etc. So I've got to try and show the guys what to do over time. Hopefully they'll be able to do it themselves without me being there and make their own sort of judgment on things. Trying to get as many straight lines as possible without compromising hitting the ground. So there's still quite a lot of input that I have to have for that, which is something I want to come away from eventually. I want them to be sort of self-sufficient. Showed Kyle the crack, showed him what we're doing, and I'm just leaving him to teach Tommy essentially. So quite good for Kyle to then have the responsibility when he goes into teacher mode and he's having to think about what I've essentially taught him. It's very helpful to also teach someone else as well. That is the idea. Ed, bless him, is wrapping some posts with the post sleeves. It was a bit too congested here today, so we do need them for another job, so got him set up doing that. And Mike is doing what I was doing yesterday and loading the dumper with spoil from that other job. So yeah, a late start with the camera this morning. It is near 12 o'clock, but I'm just trying to get things juggled and organised this morning. It's not always easy, especially when everyone's abilities vary and you've got to use people to their strengths. Mike can use a digger, so he's on that job. Ed was, although it's not exactly a hard task, Ed made a pretty good job of doing the post sleeves. It's not the most exciting jobs, but it's one that's got to be done, and it's better than standing around here waiting for something to do. So yeah, I'm going to go and visit Mike just now and see how he's getting on. So I just swapped the trailer out. It was on the crafter, took it up to the dump. That was all the stuff that they dug out today. Quite a lot, to be honest, more than I thought. But the crafter would struggle to get up this hill to dump it, so just stick on the pickup and take it up. I need to go and change the jockey wheel on this trailer because it's an absolute nightmare. It's like impossible to turn. Yeah, it's just bent. Trying to take the trailer off when it's heavy, etc. Sometimes it's got to be done. It's just not ideal for the jockey wheel, is it? So, just popped back up to see Kyle and Tommy. They make pretty good progress with the fence. A few little teething issues with the fence. I've always said it to the guys, with doing the fences, all the preparation is in the posts. When you get the posts right, the rest of the job will be a breeze. If you get the posts exactly where they need to be, the rails will fire on, and then you're smooth sailing. You get the boards on, you get the fence up. I've always been the one to sort of take charge of doing the fencing, but I'm slowly taking a step back and letting the guys who haven't done it enough before take responsibility and do it themselves. And that's the only way to delegate. And you can't be everywhere. I can't be everywhere at once. I can't be on, the job babysitting it. I've got to essentially let the guys earn their wage. Yeah, a few little teething issues, nothing that I wouldn't have done when I first started fencing. It's learning that, it's accepting mistakes and just getting on with it. A few of the posts have been, when installed, have been out of distance to catch the rail. So when you're fencing, you want the rails to catch the posts. So if you put the posts too far apart, the rail won't catch. There's been a bit of wastage in the rails having to be cut. And I'm just trying to be transparent here. I'm not knocking Kyle at all. He's pretty much held his hands up. He says, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, they just went in the wrong distances. At least they know what's happened. But ultimately, the fence is going up. But it's just about making it efficient as possible, drilling into the guys about the quality of the work and the standard that we need to uphold. Straight lines. It's trying to uphold that standard whilst not being in control and not, again, watching over the shoulder and making sure it's done right. You've got to delegate and you've got to give some responsibility away. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the same position forever. The fundamentals are there. That's the thing. The fundamentals are there. They know the sort of ins and outs of it, but it's just the sort of nitty-gritty bits, what to do in certain scenarios, because it's not just black and white. Every fence is different, So as you can see, fence comes along at one height on the path, and then it slopes down because the ground is coming down the way. And also we've needed to get the boards from that height down to that height. And then it takes a straight line back to behind the house there. But then it also steps up to a new height. It steps from 4 foot to 6 foot. Tell me things I'm speaking to. You've got to work out where the rails are going to be positioned, how to get the bottom line all the same, all in the same sort of line so it all ties in together, but you're also using two different lengths of boards and trying to make that work. So there's a bit of thought involved. It's not an easy thing. Like, I've seen some horrendous fencing in my short years in this line of work, and that's not to be critical, but like, this is a paying customer, they deserve to have it done right, and I'm showing the guys the standards that have got me to where I am just now, and to take pride in the work that we're doing. And we do, and they are. It's never absolutely straightforward, and there's always something to learn, and I'm learning every day as well. I don't have it all sussed, as you well know. Just trying to be as transparent as possible on this channel. When doing this as well, when speaking to the camera and being transparent, there's an element of vulnerability that you sort of need to accept. I've heard comments back from people who have been watching the videos and like sort of criticising things that I've been saying. I spoke to a friend about it. I agree with what they said. You can't put yourself out there and get affected by criticism like that. You're putting yourself in the limelight, and you've got to be open to these things or acceptant of them, because it's going to be happening. You're going to have people who will come on and criticise you, and for one way or another, not everything I say will resonate with people, and not everyone will agree with what I say or do. It's just accepting that and not letting it get to you, because it is easy to do that. It's easy to get butthurt about the one or two negative comments. It takes away the attention from all the positive you get, because I have had a lot of positive comments from people saying, we really enjoy the videos, great videos. I resonate so much with what you're saying. I appreciate the transparency and how honest you are. And it's like, stuff like that is good to hear, and it's what eggs me to keep going. So when I say about leaving comments and that, like, I do mean it. The comments are read and they are noticed. And yeah, I just thought I'd address that. Obviously, if you're putting yourself out there in the social media world, you're going to get criticism. And if the channel grows bigger, you're going to get more of an audience that will criticise what you're doing amongst the guys that appreciate what you're doing. And that's just across the board. I just thought I'd mention that. I'm trying not to, let it get to me. At the end of the day, they're still watching the video. I'll never get it 100% right. It's just one of those things you've got to accept and move on with. Hearing negativity, stuff like that, would once really affect me, but now it kind of eggs me on to do better and do more. So trying to be as transparent and honest as possible comes with being vulnerable. I'm putting information out there that some might argue shouldn't be out there. But at the end of the day, if I was in that position, first starting out at the age of 14, 15, in my earlier years in business, and I seen videos like this, it would have inspired me. We didn't have a lot of videos like this to watch and to resonate. So what I'm trying to do is kind of be that presence on social media of the ins and outs of growing a business. And if I can help people and inspire them, I think that's a positive to come away from. So again, rambling on, but I think it's very much necessary. The guys are just working along the road there. I bought a new digger. Okay, well I haven't actually bought a new digger, I'm hiring this digger. We've got a job here that we need to redo the gravel in this driveway, dig all this out, basically from the car forward. The other digger is at the job with Mike and will be for a while, so I thought, you know what, I will just hire it to save me waiting, trying to get through as many jobs as possible. So that's what we're doing. Fine and short straps, perfect. This is a 2.7 ton machine. Well, John, how are you? Good. Exactly. And you, see you later. God, this is weird. It's a good bit different than my one. God, it does look that bit bigger, doesn't it? I do want to eventually get a bigger digger, probably a 2.5 ton Volvo, obviously the same as the one we've got, a Volvo, as sometimes in a job like this, the size makes quite a difference. So it'll be interesting to see how it performs. God, you really notice with the difference in size just how much smoother it is. It doesn't bob as much, near as much as ours. There's also an element, because it's got more power, you've got to be careful that you don't dig in too much. Whereas my one kind of glides across a harder surface. You can kind of put a bit more force down when you're grading back or trying to peel back a driveway like this. Jittery. Quite a nice machine though. Just seen Mike and Ed sneaking past, I wonder what they're up to. This is a slight issue to be honest, because I know what's going to happen now. I'm really going to want a bigger digger, and I can't afford a bigger digger. Bigger excavator. Definitely so much nicer to use. It's funny how things just never sort of end, you know? When I first got my digger, I was absolutely delighted. Like, it felt so far away from me. I was just trying to work out like what's possible. And when I finally got it, it's like, yes, got it. Start getting used to it, use it. And now it's like, well, what's next? It's quite a quiet machine as well. Not a high rever. Tell you what though, the size difference in machine makes a lot quicker work than it would with my own machine. So that is the guys, just heading off home. Another busy day complete, just arranging for Kyle to go up to Inverness tomorrow morning to get some materials that MKM didn't have and the gates for that fence. If I was more organised I would have had it delivered and ordered and what have you. But yeah, sometimes I forget, start the job and then I want to double check measurements once all the posts are up, so then you've got, so it's one of those ones. Got a bit of paperwork to do and then probably call it a night. Kind of interesting with the dark nights now, how it just makes you kind of want to go home, and it feels so late, but it's only 5:20, but it's dark, I don't know, just a funny feeling. It takes, obviously, it happens every year, but it obviously takes a little bit of time to adapt. But anyway, that's it for Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. How do we get out of rabbit mode? Oh, we're in it. Oh my god, it's even quicker. So it is another day in paradise, that's what you want to call it. Kyle has been up to Inverness this morning to get the material that we need for the fence. Mike is with Ed and Tommy. They are up at the golf course getting that finished. When Kyle comes back, he's going to go pick up Tommy to come and help him with the fence. But just in the meantime, Tommy went up to help them. So I'm just back here at this driveway getting it scraped out. I've got a site meeting at 12 o'clock, it's about 45 minutes away. The site meeting is 45 minutes away. So I need to go to that. I think it's a new build, and I think they've got grass to lay or seed, but unfortunately the time of year it is, we're going to be pushing it for time for doing that. Come on. Guess I'll have to use the thumb, which is on the foot pedal, which I find very bizarre. Look at that. This is the same JB Equipment thumb that is on the Volvo, and yeah, great thing, great addition. So yeah, it should get out of that job today. And Mike is on. I'll be good to get on to the next one. I am glad, however, that I have hired this digger, because it is bigger than mine and it's better for this sort of stuff. bit more power, just grading back, and it makes light work of it. So they're not going to be putting gates back on here, so they said for this to come out. That's the drive semi scrape back pile there, so. He's not finished yet. Have you been eating your birthday cake all day?
I have actually, yeah.
How old are you today, Tommy?
I'm 17 today.
17 years young. How old are you, Kyle?
I won't answer that.
You getting on fine? Got knee pads in?
I do, thank goodness, otherwise this wouldn't even be possible.
Looking good though.
Yeah, we're getting there, eh?
Yeah. So, we are back up at the job here. Mike and Ed have finished at the other job. We're now on this street. Kyle's way down the bottom there at the fence. We're doing this driveway here. We're probably going to be on this street all week, to be fair, because we've got the other tidy up to do in the garden that we did the hedges in. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of customers in this street. So Mike and Ed will just be cutting away at the edges here from where I've scraped with the digger. I've got the trailer on now. I'm going to go and load up some of the material and get it away. I have spoke to another local contractor who has a 7.5 ton lorry who could take probably the same amount of stuff away in the trailer, if not a bit more than me. Yeah, a bit more, sorry. Sometimes they're quiet with the lorry, so they're going to maybe come in and do a couple of loads tomorrow. So I'll see how I get on tonight, but there's a wee bit of material there. So I had a site meeting with a building contractor, a local building contractor at that job. So that went okay, quite a big job. We're going to obviously be the last sort of people to go in. The landscapers are always kind of last to go and do the finishing touches, so talking potentially fencing, seeding the lawn, etc. But I told them for the seeding we're obviously better to wait until the spring. But that kind of took a few hours out of the day. But we're here now, got that other job across the line, which is good. Kyle and Tommy are making good progress on the fence. They'll have all the boards on today, and it'll just be the case of hanging the gates, which is always the fun part, getting that finalised, and then getting this job across the line. So we're running through the list. It's just juggling it all to make it, efficient. And I came and started this job by myself and made pretty good progress with myself and the digger, whilst there's two other teams on other jobs. So you feel like you're doing a bit more when you're knocking out jobs like these. So yeah, we'll go and see how they're getting on. Looking good. The guys have just been getting the edges all dug out. Just going to load some of this stuff up into the trailer. It's getting dark, boys, it's getting dark. Head torch season. I think I'm going to go and do one more load and then we'll call it a night after that. Well, I say call it a night. We'll call it a night at that job. I do, however, God, I really need to clean my pickup. That's what I need to do. It is disgusting. I'm going to swap the trailer for the plant trailer and then go and pick up the digger and also return Sean's dumper. So that's tonight's job. Well, we step up. How did you get on up there, Kyle?
Cool. Yeah, all the boards are on. Managed to apply that little section in around the back.
Okay.
Yeah. What else?
All the posts cut.
All the posts are cut, bar one. Two at the back where the fence was.
Sweet.
We've got the board along the front, along the bottom.
Just up to the concrete?
Yeah, just up to the concrete along, but just with some nails from the nail gun, just to test to see. But I'll put some screws in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Does it look alright?
Yeah, looks good.
So we're pretty much there, nearly. Cool.
Yeah, they're happy. She's happy too.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Happy enough, that's good. Perfect. Not a bad day though.
No, it's strangely warm.
Well, like mild again, isn't it?
No, it doesn't feel right.
Calm,
cold.
Calm before the storm. That was a customer just dropping off a check for the job the guys just finished, Mike and Ed. So perfect. That's what you want, to get paid straight away, but The only issue is the only bank closest to us is about 45 minutes away, so I've got to go up there to deposit it. But it's there, and that's the customers you want. To be fair, most of our customers are relatively good at paying. I'm grateful of that. So I'm going to do this last load with the digger, get that away, and then I'll go and pick up my digger, Sean's dumper, and get them away too. So speaking more towards you landscaping guys, if there's anyone out there, I'd like to think so, being a landscaping channel, but we are re-graveling this driveway. This chip must have been in here for a number of years, and the driveway as a whole is very hard, it's solid. You know, we're just scraping off a couple inches of the top. Now the reason we're replacing it is because it's getting a bit tired. There's a bit of soil mixed through it over time with cars, you know, parking on it, driving on it. It will deposit soil from the wheels underneath the car, etc. Then weeds can germinate in that soil, and then you've got weeds in your driveway. And at that point, you're at the point of no return, unless you know, keep on top of it with weed killer, etc. I've had this conversation on a video actually before about what is the correct method, because if you put weed membrane down on top of this, it's totally solid, but the argument is that the weed will establish on top of the weed membrane over time. With a little bit of soil and airborne seeds from birds flying by, droppings, etc., and also seeds that come off trees, leaves and debris over time will break down, sit on top of the membrane, and they again create the best environment for weeds to take up. So do you take what is already a pretty hard gravel surface with a little bit of soil in it and just throw gravel straight on top of that, 20mm crushed chips straight on top? Then you don't have to worry about seeing membrane poking up, etc. You can just throw the chips straight down on top. Then you risk the weeds taking on the soil again. Or do you put a weed membrane down, run the risk of the weeds taking on top of the membrane over time? As an initial fix it will work, but over time they can sit on top of the membrane. So it's like, what do you do? This is an absolute perfect surface for, you know, a driveway. It's solid, it's rock solid. There's obviously a good amount of hardcore in here, and it's been here for years and years and years. What is your opinion? If you have an opinion, put it down in the comments. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. But I've always thought weed membrane is a bit of a myth, and I've had this conversation with friends before and who don't use it, but then again, because there's soil mixing amongst this gravel, obviously because there's been weeds in it that we've just scraped up, it's not exactly clean, it's almost contaminated gravel, which creates an environment for weeds to take. I think we're going to be going for the membrane because it's what we've quoted for. I think it's what's going to be the best result, because what you don't want to do is put all the gravel down and then the weeds start coming back, and then you have to either replace it or refund the money, essentially. Possibly overthinking it a bit too much, but I know what I'm trying to say. Say it's a pretty valid argument. And the only reason I'm thinking about it so much is because I care about my job and care about the product that we produce. The same reason we install post sleeves on the fence posts to stop them rotting. I hate the idea of a job that we've done and a customer's paid for to eventually over time fail. Now obviously it's natural wood, etc., and it's obviously going to happen, but if you can prevent that, then why wouldn't you? That's just my take. I don't think everyone has that opinion. And again, it is reflected in the price. We are by far not the cheapest around here, but I would argue we are by far one of the best. And I can say that out of confidence, not out of big-headedness. And the reason we're the best, or one of the best, is because we care. And the thing is, sometimes it's hard to remember that when and if you get told you're too expensive, or you have doubts about, did I price that right? Did I overcharge it? Have I done the right thing? At the end of the day, the product kind of speaks for itself. People ask, how do you get more work? And I think amongst all the other things that are obvious in doing so, if you do a good job, the work will come. 2 double espresso at the start of the morning. That'll put hairs on your chest. Good morning. It is Thursday. I don't even know what the date is, but we're just about to pop up to the yard. Alex is out today, so Ed, Alex, Tommy, Mike, Kyle, we're a team of 6 today. It's going to be a little bit congested on the job until we start getting going, getting moving. I've got a few more loads to move with the digger, and then we should be in preparation for importing the chip. We'll see how we get on. 8:10 and we've done the first load. I'll have to get the next. 1, maybe 2 loads left to do. We'll get these 2 jobs done today. Fence, I'm not sure about. We'll hopefully try and get that and gate and all that. Kyle's done pretty well, pushed on with that. I'm happy about that. He's kind of taking the lead on that, so making decent progress. One thing I will mention as well, though, it's like since we've taken on a couple more staff members and we're being able to do different jobs at the same time, we are rattling through the jobs. So whereas before we were struggling to get through them, we're getting through them a lot quicker now. So it's that element of like, all right, we've caught up with the jobs we've got. We need to now try and find more. And the work's there, but either the work hasn't been quoted, hasn't been looked at, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure I'm not the only one that struggles with that, but I've just been so focused on trying to get jobs in, invoices out, blah, blah, blah. You forget to make the time to go and price jobs that need to be started, etc. And then you come to a sort of loose end and you've nothing to go and start at. But we've got plenty of stuff to do, so it's just juggling it and getting them penciled into the diary. Whether that made any sense or not, I don't know, but I kind of know what I mean. So, a little bit of a change in plan. I had a conversation with a mate, asked his opinion, and we've decided not to use the Taram on the majority of it, but just on the areas that might prop up weeds. This corner had some natural growth anyway, and there's some areas that the guys are sort of patching up that did have soil that would be a perfect sort of environment for weeds to take. So this is all pretty clean. It's been whacked, pretty hard, firm gravel. It should be okay, and it's going to make it a bit easier for tipping, because now we can just come on straight on top of the gravel with the digger. You don't have to worry about ripping up the Taram. Or initially, if we were going to do the Taram the whole way, we were going to start from the front and work our way in, so the digger could work on top of the chips, but we're just going to do it like this. Try and take a straight sort of line in front of the carport and just merge it into. So Jim is just loading us up with chips. I told him we're going to be back and forth. It was maybe a 20-minute turnaround back to the quarry. I'm just going to run the loads in. The guys are going to spread it, hopefully get done in goodish time. Quick transition, reverse in, tip, get out, get going, get another load. We have decided that behind the lean-to, we were only going to go as far as the carport, just what the customer asked for. When we initially quoted the job before the carport was up, we were going to do the whole thing, but now, probably to save some costs as well, they said don't bother doing the other side. But what we're going to do, tie it all in, is we're going to put just a thin layer right the way back to the garage, just so it all ties in. The customer hasn't asked that, they won't know that we're doing it, but I think it'll be a nice surprise for them when they come back. Get in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just try and keep running back and forth. So yeah, obviously because we're not using the Taram, there's maybe a bit of saving to be made there. I'm just going to get some more gravel and we'll spread it. I want to do the job properly, I want to finish it off, and I think they'll be happy with that as well. So I'm not going to charge them any more than I initially estimated. So when your name's on it at the end of the day, go the extra mile to do it properly, or to do a better job.
Brother's dying to see him in it.
Is he?
He's dying not to be in it.
You're in the video now, boy. Your brother wants to see you in the video.
Yeah, hi Alex. There we go.
A little shout out. Cool, so that's that one pretty much done. Thought we were going to need a little bit more chips in there, but we need gravel up at this job as well. So I just said we'll pull up the road and get that unloaded too. Looks a bit better.
Yeah.
You're stuffing it under the fence.
It's gonna take a lot, this. It's good.
Just leaving Kyle and Tommy to it for a second. The job we just finished yesterday, I promised the neighbour of the customer that we would spread some bulk bags of chips for him, just as a thank you from our customer for using his fence. The neighbour let us take down the fence and get access through his drive, so as a thank you I said we'll spread the chips for him. The wheelbarrow team. I don't know how this is going to work. I think it comes out pretty gradually, but it's going to be a fucking disaster. Look at that, boy! Work smarter, not harder. And how do you stop it? Delighted. Just made my day. I'm really sad. I seen that on Instagram by someone. I don't know who it was, so I'm not claiming. I don't know what I'd be claiming that I've done this first, but I've seen it on Instagram, so it's just made my day. Good morning, guys. It is Friday. Just going to load up this digger and get it back to its owner. I don't think I showed you the finished result of that job yesterday. Maybe I did, I can't remember. We were obviously down at the other job as well. Digger is loaded up, job is done. The fence down the road is done. We just need to tidy up, give it like a little blow over, and what we also need to do is add a drop bolt to the gate and possibly a wheel to hold the weight of it. We fixed the gate to the existing post that was there because eventually that side that we didn't do is going to be done. So we didn't bother fixing a new post because it was pretty solid, but it is a little bit slack. So it sits level, no bother, but when you open it, then it falls. The post comes with the gate. So if we've put a brace on it to help, and if we put a caster wheel on the bottom of the gate to hold the weight of it, then that should help it too, until it gets fixed in future. That's the sort of finish I'm looking for, right? I'm gonna say be thorough with the blower. You know, you're not gonna get every single leaf up, but you want to try and get as much off of that as possible. So I need to get nice and tidy, you know. So I was just helping the guys there, showing them the crack with that job, just to sort of general tidy up. It'd be a bit difficult with having the young lads there who don't necessarily know what they're doing, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. They've never done it or whatever. So it's like trying to educate them in like the most efficient way of doing things, the best way of doing things, and not getting frustrated that the job isn't going as quick as it normally would, but understanding the fact that, well, they've never done it before. And then two blowers, well, one of the blowers that was there stopped working, and then we've got another one in the container that I never had looked at that stopped working. So we are two blowers down. Kyle's got the Crest one here, just along the road, and they've only got one blower back at that job. So yeah, it's all going to happen today. The thing is, yesterday was actually a really good day, and yeah, we got those jobs finished. It was I just felt like it was a good day. Not that every day is bad, but like, you know, it was just good to get those jobs finished, and everyone was in good form, getting the crack, etc. Things just kind of went well. Customer was absolutely delighted with the driveway. The other customer was absolutely delighted with the fence. Yeah, good feedback. Everyone's been happy with what we're doing, which is what we want to hear. But today was just kind of a bit of a loose end. Obviously mentioned yesterday about getting through the workload and then kind of being at a loose end, and that was kind of today. So today will not be a profitable day at all. Just is what it is. It's just not going to be. That's not the guy's fault. That's my fault for not being organised enough to, get enough work in the day and allocate the right people to it. Been so busy trying to get through the work that we've already got, you forget to delegate time to getting the work for future, getting more work in. The work's there, the inquiries are there, but either the inquiries aren't finalised, haven't been looked at, haven't been priced, haven't been confirmed. It's just like all these things that's, we have like other jobs to go to, like little jobs which are kind of on today, so that's what we're doing, but not enough. So yeah, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. We're still going to be making a bit of money today, but not what we need. But that's just part and parcel, isn't it? So anyway, I'm here to grind some stumps. I'm going to go and do that now, and yeah, hopefully it's not going to take too long. So, got that done. Didn't take as long as I thought it would. The stumps were pretty rotten, so yeah, it kind of chewed through them a lot easier. We will probably need to change the teeth at some point. We have turned them 3 times to the sharp edges, but obviously with the ground and everything, it's just inevitable that you're going to hit stones and soil, etc. But it's been a great little machine. You certainly do notice the size when you're doing a bigger stump. It's just all relevant, isn't it? But like decent medium to small size stumps, it's pretty good. And as long as your teeth are sharp, then yeah, a great investment. Could do with it being a little bit busier though, but I haven't really pushed the marketing aspect of it. So anyway, just popping along the road now. The guys are still here. I believe Mike and that are here now, and they're helping get tidied up. So yeah, we'll see how they're getting on. Not very much work happening here, is there? Who?
Dinner time. Lots happening.
What we're talking about?
Tyson.
It was good. Wow. It was good. Who's? I'm lost. Oh, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. How's this thing been working fine? Good. Has it got a good suck? So the leaf vacuum stopped working. Something wrong with it's just everything's just not working today. Something wrong with the throttle. So that is it for another week in paradise. Haven't really filmed an awful lot today just because we were trying to run around juggling things, etc. The day didn't turn out as bad as I initially thought. It wasn't the most lucrative of days, but you have some good days, you have some bad days. Kept going, kept busy, got a few jobs knocked out the way. I've just got to get myself organised now for next week and get a plan of action. Damien should be back in next week unless he stays another week in Dubai. And yeah, the weather is supposed to turn next week. We were due some snow apparently. My worst fear has arised, the snow. It is what it is. It'll be what it will be if it comes to much. I don't really know. We haven't had proper snow in a good few years. God, my hands are horrendous. So this is where it becomes difficult. If we have snow on the ground, it just slows everything down, slows everyone down, slows the cash flow, it's just not really a good thing. So a few people have said you should do gritting. Gritting is quite tied up in this area. There's not an awful lot of it unless you go further afield, maybe an hour in each direction, 45 minutes. And yeah, it's quite the thing is, you need to get kitted out, thousands and thousands of pounds, and it's like probably your first year, whether you got a decent contract or not, you probably would be breaking even with the amount of kit you would need to spend. not that you need to go all out, but to do it properly and efficiently, you know, spreaders, a plough. If you know, I'd imagine if you're getting gritting, you would have to do the snow clearing as well, whether you subcontract that out. It's a lot to think about, and it's making it work. It's, you know, trying to, you know, is it worth getting kitted out and going and doing that? Well, it could keep cash flow coming in, but, you know, with the initial investment, I don't know. It's food for thought. I have thought about it in past winters, but again, it's quite a hard market to tap into. There's not an awful lot that pops up around here, and unless I get proactive and start looking for it, which I don't really have the capacity to do, then, you know, we're busy as it is. It's not about being quiet, it's getting to the work, and it's always a worry at this time of year. It's a bit more serious now that we've got multiple members of staff, thousands of pounds of outgoings every month. Yeah, it's only the beginning, so who knows? Maybe by March, April next year, I'll fold it. But no, hopefully not. Hopefully we can fight through and see the spring of next year. I'm sure we'll be fine. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have made it this far, I hope you have enjoyed the video. It's been quite an action-packed week. Again, sorry for the camera sort of chops and changes. There's elements where I think, you know, I should really pick up the camera here, but I'm busy trying to do something else. So I did always say I wasn't going to let it get in the way. So yeah, but I think there's been quite a lot to film this week. And yeah, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time once you've subscribed.